A nanny came running screaming out of the Brown family's house. The house was well known for a strange curse. Every nanny who came would end up running away. Cedric sighed helplessly. He knew his mischievous children were behind it again. But this time, the shock was far worse. They had hidden the baby. Simon was still admiring his handiwork, proud that he'd driven away their 17th nanny. As Cedric walked in, he saw the kids merrily eating chicken legs, but his youngest baby was nowhere to be seen. He stormed over angrily. "Where have you hidden the baby?" Noticing all the children staring at a large pot, he rushed over and lifted the baby out safely. "Are you satisfied now?" Cedric was furious. He was tired of being swamped with work, frustrated by his rowdy kids, and upset that he couldn't raise them properly. Overwhelmed, he whispered quietly to his late wife's favorite chair, wondering what on earth he should do. He begged the nanny agency to send him another helper, only to be flatly refused. As he left, an echo whispered, "You need Nanny McPhee." As punishment for hiding the baby, Cedric ordered the kitchen maid and cook not to give the children any dinner. Evangeline, the kitchen maid, ignored Sebastian's pleas to sneak them bread and jam. The cook agreed that Cedric was right. Strict discipline was needed to stop their constant mischief. Just then, a mechanical mouse ruined the cook's quiet evening. She grew terrified, knowing how wild the children could be. "You can't come in. This is the kitchen. Stay out." But the more frightened the cook was, the bolder the kids became. They knocked her out and tied her up. Cedric and Evangeline heard the commotion and went to check. Meanwhile, Simon mixed socks into mashed potatoes. Each child carried out their own prank, completely ignoring the cook's desperate pleas as she was trapped on the table. Suddenly, Cedric and Evangeline saw a strange figure standing at the door. Cedric opened the door, and there stood a uniquely peculiar woman who introduced herself simply McPhee. Cedric tried to turn her down. She looked elderly, and he feared the children would wear her out. He planned to send her to another family instead. But Nanny McPhee only asked him a few questions. Did his children say thank you? Did they sleep well? To every question, the answer was no. "Your children need to learn," she said calmly. "Go rest. I'll take care of things here." Seeing another nanny arrive, Simon said firmly, "We don't need you." Nanny McPhee replied coolly, "Indeed, I appear when you don't want me, and leave when you do." The cook screamed helplessly as the children wasted food. McPhee ordered them upstairs to bed at once, but none obeyed. She then used her magic, forcing them to spin whatever they held in their hands non-stop, trapped until they spoke the word please. Agatha lay asleep on a food shelf, while Lily tossed food from the shelf into a basketball hoop, only to send everything straight into a boiling pot. The children begged McPhee to stop, pleading with her to keep Lily away from Agatha's sleeping spot. McPhee waited silently. Only Simon hadn't asked yet. As Lily lifted Agatha toward the hoop, everyone shouted at Simon to beg for mercy. Agatha was already halfway into the basket. At last, Simon gave in. "Please, stop all this." Too late, everyone gasped. With a tap of her magic stick, all the children stood neatly lined up at the kitchen door. The cook and Evangeline Saturday, calmly at the table, drinking tea, and every mess in the kitchen vanished as if nothing had happened. Still stubborn, Simon challenged McPhee. "You don't even know our names. I'm Fartface." One by one, the children shouted their silly, rude nicknames to embarrass her. But McPhee glanced at them and recited every one of their real names perfectly. McPhee found Cedric afterward. "Your first lesson is nearly done. Good night, Mr. Brown." Cedric hurried out, offering to help in any way he could. McPhee smiled. "I rest on Sunday afternoons. Perhaps you need lessons too, but not yet." Cedric listened, half understanding, but thanked her for getting the children to bed. Still mischievous at heart, the kids came up with a new plan: pretend to be sick and stay in bed. They dusted their faces with white powder and dotted red spots, refusing to get up no matter what. After asking several times with no result, McPhee played along. She used magic to pin them all to their beds, making them genuinely feel unwell. Later, the cook chatted with McPhee about lunch plans. McPhee praised her background, working in the army, and suggested making potato peel soup, simple, plain food like soldiers ate, to toughen the children up. With McPhee's gentle persuasion, Simon finally took his medicine. The cook cheerfully prepared the soup, though its appearance was utterly dreadful. Trapped in bed all day, the children begged Evangeline secretly for a little bread. Just then, McPhee returned. Cedric asked in surprise if they'd really stayed in bed the whole time. In unison, The children called out to their father politely, "Father, please let us get up, we're well now." Cedric was shocked by their sudden good manners. The magic lifted, and they instantly regained their energy. Meanwhile, Cedric was tormented by a letter from Aunt Adelaide. He had to marry by the end of the month to keep her financial support and stay in their family home. If he failed, they would be evicted. With his small salary alone, he could never afford to raise 7 children. Desperate and cornered, he turned to the town's notorious widowed lady, Mrs. Quick, who had once shown interest in him. Aunt Adelaide also wrote that she would visit that Sunday afternoon. Cedric begged McPhee to skip her day off, but she refused. Their agreement was already set. Aunt Adelaide was extremely nearsighted and even mistook a pig for one of the children. With McPhee gone, Simon saw no need to behave. Quick thinking, Cedric secretly dabbed saliva on Aunt Adelaide's glasses, blurry-eyed. She only muttered that his children all looked odd, with pig noses and piggy eyes. Simon learned Aunt Adelaide planned to take one child away to raise as her heir, so he was determined to scare her off. Later, a donkey startled Christina, who ran outside. Glancing over, Aunt Adelaide instantly decided she would take this little girl. McPhee stepped in with magic, clouding Aunt Adelaide's vision. The donkey suddenly began dancing, making the aunt laugh hysterically, and she chose another child instead. Simon quietly thanked McPhee, but she told him someone still had to leave. In the end, Aunt Adelaide took one of the girls. Cedric chased after her frantically. "Give her back, that's my Anna." But Anna ran straight back into Cedric's arms. All the other children rushed outside too. In the end, only Evangeline chose to leave. She truly wanted to go out and learn more about the world. Terrified of losing another child, Cedric resolved to marry the widowed Mrs. Quick. He prepared an elegant dinner to win her over, but the children's pranks ruined everything. Offended by their rudeness, Mrs. Quick decided Cedric had no manners at all. Broken-hearted, Cedric spoke honestly to his children. He explained he would lose their home and his ability to care for them without Aunt Adelaide's support and a marriage. He'd already lost his wife. He couldn't bear to lose his children too. The children wanted to ask McPhee for help, but she told them firmly they'd caused the mess and they had to fix it themselves. The kids went to Mrs. Quick's house to apologize. She only agreed to marry Cedric after hearing Aunt Adelaide would still fund the family, and warned the children not to ruin the wedding. Agatha kept ringing her mother's old rattle, a precious keepsake. Mrs. Quick snapped it apart without a second thought, ignoring the children's desperate protests. Soon after, Evangeline came back, and everyone was overjoyed. Simon finally realized Mrs. Quick would never make a good mother, but Evangeline was perfect for their father. They disrupted the planned wedding. Aunt Adelaide prepared to leave too, but Simon announced the wedding would still go on. McPhee waved her wand. Soft white snow fell over the ceremony. Evangeline laughed. "I don't look like a bride at all." McPhee smiled gently. "No, you look like the most beautiful bride of all." Cedric stood stunned, watching as they held the most magical wedding the town had ever seen. With her work done, Nanny McPhee set off once again, ready for her next journey to another family in need.